Well, hello, YouTube fanatics. Cincinnati Reefer here, coming at you today with another fishy tale. So, what we have here is my 90-gallon freshwater discus tank. As you can see, I have 7 discus in there. And what you might not be able to see just yet is I also have a small teacup stingray in there. This is pretty much a normal scenario. If you look close enough, you may be able to see a little bit of brown algae growth on the glass. My office here in my house, where this 90 and one of my other tanks, my 210 is in, is actually probably got a little bit too much natural sunlight in it most of the time. And so I'm constantly fighting a little bit of algae. I'm probably not much more than anybody else, but with the discus it's a little bit more intensive because I feed them so often. I feed them 4 or 5 times a day, frozen food, brine shrimp, mysis, shrimp, bloodworms, not too much on the bloodworms, but a little bit. And beef heart, and beef heart being the main thing. I like to get the enhanced beef heart with the vitamins and so forth when I can, but it's not always something I can for sure do. And either way though, the beef heart is what they mainly eat. Today's video, I just want to kind of go over the tank, the current status of the tank, how long I've had it running, and if there's any changes I plan to do to it, what those might be, the equipment that I've used and are currently using. This tank has been established about a year and a half, I guess. I bought 5 of them initially from a local fish store that has a relatively decent, well, I shouldn't say decent, a large selection of them. They're not high quality discus, really, when I got them, but I didn't know so much about them in the beginning. I just know that I like them, and I read a lot of stuff about them, but at the time when I was buying them, I didn't really know about, the different breeders. And I mean, there's a really good breeder here in Ohio, Central Ohio Discus, and then there's another guy also in Columbus that breeds quality discus as well. There's a guy in Northern Kentucky. I bought the 2 newest ones, number 6 and 7, from a breeder in Northern Kentucky, and it's kind of funny. I'll show you later which 2 they are. It's hard to believe they came from the same batch. So there they are, chasing each other. The bigger one chasing the smaller one there. The smaller one is the dwarf of the tank now, and has taken that red and white one at the bottom's place as the runt, and their sibling there is almost caught up with the others that are much older. The original 5 are probably about, I'd say, about a year and a half old, and then the other 2 are less than a year old, and one of them has already caught up with the others. Now, that being said, I do believe that I've probably slowed down and retarded their growth a bit. Hopefully I've not dwarfed them, but I've at least retarded them. I had them in a 20-gallon tank, the original 5, for the first few months I had them. And then I finally got this 90 set up and moved them there. But so that being said, I have 2 fish that are starting to show breeding signs. I think these are still juveniles, so I don't think that they're actually able to breed yet, but I think that I have 2 that are going to. In this tank, I run an FX5, a Fluval FX5 filter. I have a 400 watt Theo Hydor heater in there in the back that you can see, and then I believe it's called a Whisper pump, air pump, which I like much better than those blue air pumps. I forget the name of them, but much better. It's quieter. has adjustable air output. You can see I'm not getting much flow out of my 2 air wands anymore. They're older. I had them in there for, I don't know, 6-8 months, and I think they've clogged up for the most part. Doesn't matter. Even after I clean them, they get a little bit better. But you can see the longer one on the right there's got very little air coming out of it. Actually, the tank looks really good when those are when new and have a big wall of bubbles going up in the back. It's kind of nice. Adds a little bit of something to a bare bottom tank. Of course, bare bottom is easier to clean and keep clean, and the Discus love the clean water, but in my opinion, it doesn't look all that great. I mean, I have 2 bare bottom tanks. I also have a 90-gallon tank that has substrate in it, and the substrate one looks just way better, in my opinion. But I change out half this water once a week. With Discus, a lot of people will change out the water. They'll change about a half every 3 days or so. I know I've read some people that change out 25% of the water daily or every other day. I mean, I just don't have that much time to do it. So every weekend I change out half the water and I scrub it down a little bit and clean it up. And then once a month I clean out the filter and change some of the media in it and stuff like that. And they do well. The tank's always, the nitrate and nitrite is always, at or very near 0. No ammonia ever, pretty much. So it works. It works good. The FX5 is probably overkill. I know a lot of people who keep Discus don't keep that much flow in their tank, but these fish seem to respond pretty well to it. I don't see them doing anything that leads me to believe they don't like it. I mean, every once in a while you'll see them swimming in the current of it and that sort of thing. You see the red turquoise there is right in the line of the flow, and he likes to stay there a lot. That orange one right there in the middle is, I believe, going to be the female, and the red turquoise being the male. And they've been pecking and at the tube on the filter there, intake and stuff, like they're going to be laying eggs, and they were doing their little shimmy up on it and stuff like that. So I believe these are the practice runs of them mating later on. So let's move on to look a little bit closer at some things. Alright, here we are a little bit closer. I believe that is going to be a mating female with this red turquoise here, which is my favorite. Blue diamond. I believe these are some kind of really bright, the parents of this fish and the one behind it, which are siblings, oddly enough, as much as they don't look like it, were really bright red with just these white and whitish blue spots, kind of like this one here. That may be the same fish. I don't know. This fish here, another nice orange one, and this one here was almost the same size when I bought it. So this fish must be dwarfed. It hasn't hardly grown at all since I initially bought it. This teacup here has been doing well, getting a little bit bigger, and doing pretty good. This is an 18K light bulb, single T8 light bulb, just a 40 water. It's kind of dim but gives off a nice glow that I like. I've had a 6500 bulb on here, and I've had the 10K kind of bulbs, and I definitely prefer the bluer tone of the 18. Let's see if I can get a better picture there. Well, camera's dealing with the lighting a little bit decent. Looks way better in person. Like that orange and red on that fish right there is so like fluorescent-y looking in person, and here on the camera it's not doing quite as well. I also had my golden nugget in here at one time. The golden nugget's supposed to be able to deal with temperatures up to 84, but I found that's just not the case. Didn't do well. I put it over here into my 210 and it's doing way better. It looks healthier, it's growing and just doing a lot better. So I took it out. The Stingray seems to be doing great. It's gotten probably at least a 3/4 inch growth in diameter since I got it. Eats well, although I think I need to start feeding it a little bit better stuff, putting some more stuff in there that's specifically for the Stingray, rather than letting it clean up on these frozen cubes and so forth. What's kind of cool is I'll put a frozen cube in there and it'll jump down and get it. So let's take a look down here at my underneath. And again, part of my videos is not going to be to try to clean this all up and make this perfect. I just want to show how it is. I've got some Kent Essentials. It's a Discus specific nutrient. Tetracolor flakes came with one of my tanks. I've had it forever. And then I have a lot of media stored in here that I use. So there's the Fluval. I love this. I'll be doing a review on it in the future. And this is my 90-gallon tank. Take care until next time. This is Cincinnati Reefer signing off.